in the key with Julia Mounter. Here's our event that we generated with Rupert Murdoch. And let's just suppose that there was another part of the message where we had an event in the key, and we generated one that we corrected an event that was correct. We generated an event that was correct, that appropriately got aligned up here. And we're not going to talk about, we're not going to do anything that's going to change that. But for the sake of argument, say that this had the same properties as our original example. That is, that we got 8 right out of 15 in the key and 13 generated. What's going to happen if we get rid of this garbage event? So what we're doing now when we change our system is to get rid of this irrelevant garbage and keep everything else the same. So again, the recall should stay the same, but the precision should get better because we're not generating the garbage. But what actually happens is the precision stays the same, and the recall gets cut in half. And the F-score for the passage goes down by 0.2. The opposite thing happens too, of course. So say you could write a rule that got the correct output, or some of the correct output for the event, but you didn't want to write a rule that got rid of the overgenerated event. Because maybe that rule was doing well for you on other messages or something. So you would expect, nonetheless, an improvement. So say we wrote a rule and we generated 12 slots. There were 15 in the key and we got 9 right. So that'll give us a net score of 2/3. So what actually happens here when you add this event? Then essentially the right thing happens. This event will get aligned to the correct event in the key. So that's good. But now, the overgenerated event will actually get scored as overgenerated. And so your precision will go in the tank as your recall stays to what it would have been if you generated that event alone. And again, the feedback you get from the scorer was that this was a bad change. So typically when this kind of thing happens, what you do as a developer is you take out the change that caused the score to go down. But in both of these cases, these were changes that anybody, given the research, the goals of driving research that this whole task was designed to promote, anybody in the field would agree that these are all uncontroversially positive changes that the S-score is telling us are bad. Similarly, you can imagine having a learning procedure, right? A greedy search. Let's say we're trying to learn patterns, and at any iteration,